Welcome into the Todd Bowles Show. Casey Phillips here with head coach Todd Bowles. I know you haven't had a whole lot of time to digest it, but at this point, what would you say are sort of the big picture takeaways from that game?
Just the little things. It's frustrating to see us do it right. When we did it right, we looked very good. When we didn't do it right, we gave up plays, and that's the frustrating part about it. And everybody feels the same way, from coaches to players, especially at the end of the ball game.
And what is your message going to be in the coming week, knowing these two Carolina games are essentially both playoff games now, and you have kind of extended break between it, so the way you want to convey a certain message to the team in this next kind of 10-day stretch, what would you like them to know?
Well, like I told them in the locker room, at this point in the season, you've seen every play offensively and defensively. It's a veteran team. It's a players' team, and I mean that in the way of the leadership will take us as far as we go. Our leadership, our veteran leadership, and our older guys will take us as far as we need to go because they lead us, they follow us, the guys follow them, and what they say resonates more to players from accountable on the field to each other as opposed to what the coaches say. Not that they don't listen, because they do, and it's the coaches as well as the players, but when the players speak up and take onus of everything and they can account on each other out on the field, then you see better results.
I know every win is big and every loss feels big as well, but this was definitely one of your more animated press conferences after a game. We could tell that this loss definitely was something that bothered you. What was it about this game that brought out that animated press conference right after the game and just those emotions that were there?
When you get beat on simple, fundamental, and technique, that is something I really can't stand and can't take, and that's the frustrating part of it. And not taking it out on one player or anybody else, but we know what we've been doing the past few weeks, and when those mistakes creep up at the end with the game on the line and we understand we got to execute and we don't do it, and we've done it 50 million times, that part really bothers you and really pisses you off.
I know one of the definite bright spots was the fact that you got Mike and Jalen back. Tell me what went into the decision of playing them this game and how you wanted to use them or deploy them in terms of whether or not, there was going to be a pitch count and just the ways you wanted to bring them back in their first game.
Well, they look good in practice running around. They've been running for the past couple weeks, and we had them on a pitch count. Obviously, they didn't play every snap, but they were very effective when they got in the ball game. Both of them were explosive. Both of them looked fast. Both of them made tough catches. They took big hits. They got back up, so you can tell they were well, and they gave us a chance to win.
Yeah, watching Mike take that big hit towards the end of the first half, I'm sure everybody's heart stopped for a minute there in the stadium, but then he comes out second half, 45-yard jump ball, incredible catch. What does that just say about who Mike is still at this point, coming off an injury, still willing to take those hits, go up for the jump balls, and it not affect anything about the way he plays?
He was the best player on the field by far. The energy and the passion he plays with. If we had 53 Mike Evanses, we wouldn't be worried about it.
And then I know Jalen, first catch, 19 yards, almost a touchdown. Maybe, some people thought it should have been a touchdown. How cool was that to see him make big plays, especially when he came back and in those moments like that?
What I wanted to see if he can take a hit, because he hadn't really been hit like that. So for him to catch that ball and then get upended by two guys going into the end zone right there showed me that he was fine, and he ran great routes. He had great energy, and he was really into it. So that was good to see.
What did you see about the chemistry Baker had with his different wide receivers, whether it be guys like Jalen and Mike that he hasn't been able to throw to in a game for quite a while, or some of the rest of the guys? What did that chemistry look like?
Well, the experience with Mike is unmatched, and a 6'5" receiver where he can throw it, who has a wide catch radius, gives the quarterback all types of comfort. And Jalen was a great route runner as well and has a big catch radius, also gives him some more comfort. So Baker felt like he was at home with those guys.
I know there was the drive at the end of the second quarter. There was just almost back-to-back plays. You had the 12-yard pass to Mike, very next play, 12 yards to Emeka, very next play, 19 yards to Jalen. What really worked so well that drive and started clicking? Because that felt like the one where you started really seeing Baker using all of those guys and all the different weapons.
Did a good job mixing them in and lining them up and going out there throwing to a different guy each play, trying to keep them all balanced. So it was a good play calling series.
And even though, of course, the outcome of the game wasn't what you guys wanted, was this a look at what this offense could be at full strength, and what was it like for you to watch this, what we thought this, especially wide receiver room, could be to start the season?
It's the start of what it should look like. Obviously, when you get your weapons back, with Bucky and Chris coming back, then Mike and J-Mac coming back, and you really start to see the depth, and we can throw it at you in waves. We just got to get more comfortable doing it consistently.
Godwin got his first touchdown of the season for him, the 40th of his career, which means he joins Mike as the only wide receivers in Bucs history to hit 40 receiving touchdowns. Tell me about that touchdown and two-point conversion on that basically same spot on the field back-to-back, and what he did well in both of those plays.
Touchdown did a good job faking and working the middle of the field, the two-point play as well. It was supposed to be a 7 route, but him and Baker were on the same page, and the corner ran the 7 route for him, so he kind of streamlined it and cut it off, and Baker hit him.
And then knowing that there have been times that the red zone has been a bit of a struggle offensively, now with all these weapons back, was this a chance to see what it could be moving forward?
Yeah, it was, and we got a chance to do some things as well, putting extra linemen in there, putting Vita at the fullback position and moving guys around, so it was a little different look.
I know that Emeka's, had a few struggles lately, but then we saw him make some pretty big catches in this game as well. Where did you see this game for him as compared to some recent ones?
Well, he didn't have to carry it all on his back, with Mike back and with J-Mac back, obviously with Chris back. He didn't have to carry it all, so he didn't see as much coverage as he's usually seen.
I know midway through the second quarter, Baker was 4 of 10 for 65 yards, and then he ended up going 15 of 24 for 212 after that. What seemed to kind of shift or click for him and the offense as a whole as the game went on to kind of get more into a rhythm?
I think we got better in the play flow with the play calling aspect of it and started getting those guys. Once we saw Mike and J-Mac was okay, we started opening up a little bit more, and that kind of helped us.
What did you see from Baker's interception and that point in the game and then the play itself, and what seemed to go wrong?
I got to have that one back. It was 1st and 10, like he was premeditated trying to throw it over there, and he liked to have it back. We like to have it back.
Then I know there was the drive that ended at the 2-minute warning and ended with the Baker sack. What didn't work on that drive?
Got to protect. We got to protect and kind of get what we want. We didn't really have what we wanted, and it kind of spiraled into a sack.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the Todd Bowles Show. Welcome back to the Todd Bowles Show. Casey Phillips here with head coach Todd Bowles. Briefly mentioned the putting Vita Vea at fullback, which everyone gets very excited, and now we've had a couple weeks lately where a big man's been involved in a touchdown in one way or the other. Tell me about that Sean Tucker touchdown and the decision to use Vita at fullback, and just how exciting that play was to see the ways that you can dial up some new different things there.
Oh, he's a lot of man, so to put him back there and put Sean behind him, we know he was going to clear it out, so that made it a clear path for Sean, made it pretty easy.
And Sean, on that play, took the team touchdown lead with 7 with that one. So tell me how he's been able to become that kind of goal line threat, and what about him as a running back makes him a good option in those plays?
He makes the most of his time. He's a very good, not just a downhill runner, but he's a one-cut runner, and he's got strong lower body, and it's hard to bring him down. And once he gets going, he's a very powerful guy, and he's more compact to the ground. He's bigger than Bucky and just a little bit quicker than Rashad, so he gives us a good 1-2-3 punch that you really don't get to prepare for much, and by the time you figure him out, he's already got a bunch of yards.
And so what did you think of the run game overall with all 3 of your backs and what it looked like?
All of them got utilized pretty good. All of them had some pretty good runs. Rashad had some good runs early. Bucky had some good runs. He showed up at quarterback, and then Sean came in and did his part, so you can see the rotation and the progress of it, and that helps us.
And what did you see from your O-line in the run and the pass?
Pass game, I thought they got some sacks early on us. Some of them were coverage sacks, and some of them were through some twists that we had to clean up on the inside. But at the same time, they created some holes and they ran the ball.
Devin Culp, first career touchdown, also his first catch of the season. Not a bad efficiency rating on that. And so I know Cade was going to be out. Tell me the decision of how you decided to utilize your other available tight ends and just that play and what Devin did so well.
Well, Culp is probably the most athletic of the tight ends, so he's very fast that way. But when you're in there with Mike, Chris, and J-Mac and Mecca, they're going to leave somebody alone. So they left him alone. He ran a good route. Happy for him that he got his touchdown. Payne played a lot. He took over a lot of the blocking responsibilities that Cade had, and I thought he showed up well.
I know this was the first touchdown for a tight end of the season. Just tell me a bit about why that group maybe hasn't produced a little bit more when it comes to actual touchdowns and zones, and if that's something that needs to improve moving forward.
I don't know if it needs to improve moving forward with all the receivers back in one piece right there, but I thought we had trouble getting going early, and we had trouble getting in the rhythm when we can't run the ball. The play action kind of hurts the tight ends some more, so hopefully we can get them involved as they double team the wide receivers.
And then on the defensive side of things, take us through their game-winning drive for them and some of the things that didn't work well.
The only thing that didn't work well was the 4th and 14, where we didn't play fundamentally sound, which is something we've done the entire game in situational awareness. And that was the part that had everybody so pissed off, including me, and still does. But, you know, we got to move on from that. I got to grow from that and move on and be a better leader. They got to do better as a team and work fundamentals a lot better. And we got to take that and carry this with us into next week.
Tell us about Hassan's strip sack, what he did well, and then just sort of the unusualness of how that play ended up being called.
He came around the corner. He had his left hand free. He got a hand in there and knocked it down. I saw the scrum down there. It looked like it was 4 of us to 1 of them, and all I saw was him come out with it. I don't know. I thought he had it, and the referee said it was a tie, and we couldn't get the replay to replay it, and then the next play went on, and it kind of happened too fast.
I know their first touchdown drive, that was the one where there was the penalty on Zion on the field goal that let them get the first down, and then they ended up scoring on an 8-yard pass to Kyle Pitts. Tell us what didn't work well in that drive and just some of the things you noticed on those final plays.
Well, you can't jump off sides on the field goal. 4th and 3 to give them a first down, that was critical. That cost us 4 points. That hurt us at the end. On the touchdown to Pitts, there was a miscommunication.
Right before halftime, I know there was the 35-yarder to Pitts and then his 17-yard touchdown. What didn't work well in those 2 plays, and then just overall, clearly, trying to slow down Kyle Pitts in that first half, 6 for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. What was the struggle there?
Once Zion got hurt, it kind of took a guy that we were matching up on him. But from a technique standpoint, our eyes were in the backfield on 2 of those plays, on the long one, a 30-something yard and the 17-yard. Got to play discipline. Got to have your eyes on your coverage.
Tell us about Levante's forced fumble, and we know that's something he has just been so good at for the entirety of his career.
Very good at it, did a heck of a job getting it out. He's very good at punching the ball. He's one of our top 2 guys, and he does it normally.
All right, we're going to take another quick break here on the Todd Bowles Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the Todd Bowles Show. Casey Phillips here with head coach Todd Bowles. No Servassier going into the game. How did that affect some of your game plans and packages you like to use, and what was your choice of how you tried to use some different people at that linebacker rotation?
Well, we tried to use Nick Jackson in base to play against the bigger guys. We let Debo play the nickel spot when they tried to throw the football, and then we had some packages where Levante was the only one in there, and we tried to play with more DBs and one more down lineman to mix a few packages so all of them wouldn't have the burden of learning everything at one time. I thought most of it worked well for the most part. No, Jackson slipped on one pass right there, and Debo had a mixed bag. He fit one good, he fit one not so well. He made a great play on a 3rd down play, and there's probably a play or 2 he'd like to have back, but overall, to replace Boss, we had to do a myriad of things and to have at least 3 or 4 packages.
And how does that end up affecting Levante, and either what you ask of him or even just the idea of who Levante is allows you to try to do some of those other things?
We ask a lot of him and to run the defense and learn all the different packages, and he makes it look seamless, but I know it's a lot of work for him. That's a credit to the pro he is, and to be lined up with different guys on almost every other play and trying to make it work, that's a credit to him being in the league this long.
And then you kind of briefly touched on it, but losing Zion, how did that affect some of the different packages and ways you were trying to do things, and who you had to bring in to try to replace him?
Well, he was our number 1 guy that we had to cover Pitts, or at least try to cover him. He covered him the first time, but then after he got hurt, kind of limited things a little bit, but we still should have had leverage and technique and had somebody over top of him, and he got free on us a couple times.
I know Bijan Robinson, definitely one of the harder people to go against, harder people to tackle. How did you feel like the defense handled him overall?
In the run game, we were okay. He caught some checkdowns. We were right there, and we missed 3 or 4 tackles on him out in space, which everybody does, but we were right there when he got it. I thought we went low. We got to stay and run through and keep our feet.
Christian Izien ended up being who stepped in for Tyke, and I know Tyke's been a guy that's made a lot of big plays and played really well for the defense all year. How did Izien look replacing him, and what did missing Tyke mean for this defense?
He had a few plays he liked to have back in the first half. He had about 3 of them he liked to have back. One of them on the pitch play because his eyes were in the backfield. He really picked it up in the second half and made some plays. I think Izzy's probably a little quicker than Tyke. Tyke's probably more of a solid tackler. Izzy's probably more of A to B burst tackler and get lower, but he made some plays for us in the second half that gave us a chance.
Yeah, what did he do well on that forced fumble?
He can hit, he can hit. He triggered really well, and once Bijan caught it, he triggered and hit him, and the ball came out. It was a bang-bang play. He's very good at those type of things.
How did you feel about the pressure your defense was able to get on Kirk Cousins?
I thought it was mixed. I thought when we pressured more in the second half, we got them some. In the first half, they spread you out. The ball came out so fast, or they kept an extra guy in, and they tried to keep 7 or 8 guys in. But once we got going in the second half, I thought it was okay. It was a mixed bag, though.
And how did you feel about your defensive line play?
I thought Vita played very well. I thought Gotsis was a shot in the arm, spark of energy for us, and Logan played hard. Robert started off slow early. He's better in the pass than he is to run right now. And I thought Yaya played a very hard football game, and I thought Hassan was getting his feet wet more and more. He got the sack, obviously. One play he ran by, but the other play he was setting the edge pretty good.
And then I know Chase hit his 10th field goal of over 50 yards, leads the league in the number of those, and he's now 10 for 10 on them on the season. And just how what that means to you guys down the stretch, knowing you have that leg, and especially from that distance.
Just steady presence. It gives us confidence that we can try to get something, and once we get to a certain part of the field, we know Chase can come through for us.
All right, we have one more segment coming up on the Todd Bowles Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Todd Bowles Show. Casey Phillips here with head coach Todd Bowles. So this is almost like a bye week. It's like a mini bye week when you're coming off these Thursday games. And tell me the ways that you want to use it for the coaches and the players, and if these couple losses have impacted any of that, or how you try to approach it.
The players will be off till Monday. They need to recover. At this point in the season, it's not really a bye week. It's more of an injury settled week, so those guys can get healthy. The coaches, we have to look at the tape. We have to be honest with ourselves, and then we have to move on to Carolina and get a good feel for them. So when the players come back, we're on to next week because we're playing for all the marbles from here on out.
And how helpful is that for you guys as coaches, getting to prepare, knowing how important these 2 Panthers games are that are so close to each other, to have a little bit of extra time leading into it?
I don't know if the extra time helps, but it's good to get a head start and then watch the game Sunday and see what they do from there, and then get a feel and have a full week to prepare for them.
And when you're facing another coach that clearly you guys reach very familiar with each other when Canales was here, and how does that affect some of the ways that you try to mix things up or game planning when you know there is familiarity from both sides?
It doesn't. You don't try to overthink it. You can overthink it to the point where you outcoach yourself before you even get to the opponent. So you have to understand the things that you do well. You try to disguise them a little, but you don't go too far outside your tackle box, so to speak, and then you play your game.
And what have you seen from Bryce Young so far this season, and where he's at this point, facing them so late in the season, of the way that he's maybe grown since the start?
Really comfortable in the offense now that he's been in it for a little while, making throws all over the place, understands it well, going to his second and third reads, which he wasn't doing before.
And how about Rico Dowdle? What have you seen from the type of running back he is and the challenges of facing him?
Extremely tough, hard to bring down. Between him and Hubbard, you got to wrap both of them up. They're good inside runners as well, and they can break tackles, so we got to gang tackle.
And we know they have their rookie, their wide receiver named McMillan. What have you seen from him and what he's brought to their offense?
He's brought a lot to their offense. He's like a younger Mike Evans. He's very talented, very gifted, runs very well, gets in and out of breaks, has big hands, and he's about 6'4", and he can run after catch.
And how about Xavier Legette now? He's not a rookie anymore, and the role that he's been able to play alongside McMillan.
He's a good complementary receiver. He's very fast. He's very strong. Obviously, he can catch it and he can run with it as well. He runs like a running back, so I think they have a good 1-2 punch.
On the defensive side for them, J.C. Horn, 5 interceptions at this point in the season. What does he bring to that defense back there, and what you have to be aware of with somebody like him?
Physical press corner. He's been long. He's been there for a long time. Very tough tackler as well in the run game, so we got to make sure we know where he is.
And how about their defensive front overall? What stands out?
The biggest one is Derek Brown. He's back after last year. You got to know where he is at all times. He's a very good disruptor, as well as some young outside pass rushers.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for the time. We really appreciate it, and good luck this next week.
Thanks.